In the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter and the 1st verse, brings us to the text for this message that the Lord has placed into my spirit. I'll get right into it because it's been bothering me for a little while now. Genesis 4:1 reads, Adam knew his wife Eve intimately, and she conceived and gave birth to Cain. She said, I've had a male child with the Lord's help. And then she also gave birth to his brother Abel. Now, Abel became a shepherd of a flock, but Cain cultivated the land. In the course of the time, Cain presented some of the land's produce as an offering to the Lord. Abel also presented an offering, some of the firstborn of his flock and their fat portions. The Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but he did not have regard for Cain and his offering. Cain was mad. His spirit was cut. Then the Lord said to Cain, well, why are you so angry? Why are you in your feelings? If you do right, don't you know I will accept that righteousness? But if you do not right, sin is crouching at the doors. As a matter of fact, I see it longing for you. But you are the master of it. In other words, you have the power. It does not have to control you. And Cain said to his brother Abel, let's go out into the field. And while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and killed him. And then the Lord said to Cain, Cain, where is your brother Abel? I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? Then he said, what have I to do with this? The Lord replied to him and said, listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. And so now as a result of this, you are cursed with alienation from the ground that opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood that you have shed. If you work the land, don't expect it to bear a harvest again to you ever again. You will be a vagabond, a restless wanderer for the remainder of your life. And then I heard when Cain said, your verdict is too great for me. For the first man that shall see me is going to kill me. God said to him, listen, any man that kills you, I will visit upon him my wrath sevenfold. And then God placed the mark upon Cain's head. And Cain left and he went to a city, the city of Nod. There within time he built a city, and he named the city after his firstborn, Enoch. The Lord had a blessing to the readers, the hearers, and the doers of his divine word. But my message, my thought, what is in my spirit right now is after the death, after Cain killed Abel, after Cain killed Abel. And while being in the spirit of the Lord, I saw as he was a vague figure, ever being defined, ever coming into my focus, into my view. I saw an older man, beard etched with much gray. I saw in the forehead of his head deep wrinkles, etched there by great sorrow, great regret, great remorse. I saw him as though he had been through the storm and the rain, as though he had endured and suffered much heartache and pain. And the Spirit reveals to me, Pastor, here is Cain. Yes, the very Cain that slew his brother. And many know the story of how it is that he came and he offered from the ground the fruits of some of his harvest. How he presented it before the Lord. And then along comes his brother Abel, his younger brother, who is the tender of sheep. And he brings and he presents the first lamb of his flock. And how it is God looked upon both offerings. And now the Spirit tells to me that God has no respecter of persons. Does not favor one man over another man, one child over another child. All of us are God's children. But what he does do is, he does look at the heart of man. He does know the deeds of man. He hears every word that falls from every man's mouth, and even the hidden words that are agendas, ulterior motivations and intentions in a man's heart. And then what he does is, his judgments are righteous and true and real. He said, when I looked upon the offerings that were before me, I could not accept Cain's offering because there was something wrong with it. It did not represent an honorable offering. It did not represent, he understood who I am and who he is, who he was. His offering did not reflect the goodness that I had been to him and how it is that I had protected him. But it was an offering that he gave from out of his head, not out of his realness and his experience with me. And then I looked upon Abel's offering. Here was the first of his flock. And the offering spoke to me and said to me, here is a man that loves me, that reveres me, who understands that I'm God and God all by myself. Here is one who understands how much he needs me and loves me. And he is unwilling to sacrifice, to cut corners, but rather reverences me and reverences me. And I accepted Abel's offering. But I'm God, and I could not take Cain's offering. Now the Spirit tells me that. So look close into the eyes of Cain the man, to see him as he stands and reflects upon his life and the choices that he made. See if I can hear and understand the hollowness still left in his spirit from a decision that he made as a young man. Oftentimes, old men spend a lifetime of regret because of the stupidity of their youth. The actions, the deeds that they did as kids and as young adults, the foolery, the selfishness, the arrogance, the proud looks, and the haughtiness in their spirit. Think about how they made choices and decisions that affected not only their life, but the life of their mother and the life of their father, the grief and the pain and the sorrow that they brought upon so many people simply because they chose a different path. I look now in the spirit and I see Cain. I see a man who had spent a lifetime using his hands in the dirt. A lifetime of feeling rejection, a lifetime of feeling sorrow and despair because nobody knows how it really feels to know that you have taken the life of another. I know the movies pump it up, and I know television and magazines and the media makes it seem like it's a badge of courage. You see big, strong prisoners with muscles walking with little teardrops on the side of their face, indicating the number of lives that they have taken. And some little kid looks up and says, "Oh, he's tough. Oh, he's hard. Oh, he's strong. I want to be hard like him. I want to be strong like him. I want to be bold like him. I want to be brave like him." But they don't really know what life is like after you've killed your brother. Now it comes up to me in my mind, into my spirit, one arguing and saying that was not my brother, that's not my mother's child, that's not my father's child. But the soul that seems to justify a decision to kill and to murder simply because it's not biological blood. I would have to ask the question, is not this blood red like your blood? Are these not people like you and me? Do they not have a father and a mother who, when you trace the ancestry line, sooner or later you'll come to the name Adam and Eve? In this planet that we live on, are we all not sisters and brothers? Yeah. In my spirit, I hear Cain say, we're all family. All family. I struggle because I look upon his face and now a sense of sorrow comes to my spirit because I know that in one decisive moment, he locked himself into a life of remorse, regret, and sorrow. I hear him saying, because I killed my brother. And I want to say that so many of our young brothers, even today, are struggling. Because even though the street said it was a good thing, they were the enemy. Bam, bam, they should have killed. Bam, bam, this mean world out there. Bam, bam, they were out to get me. Bam, bam, they ticked me off. Bam, bam, they tried to steal from me. I don't care how hard you get. Comes a moment, and usually when you're all by yourself, the shadows come to get you. It might be in the dark of the night. It might be as you look upon the face of your firstborn child. It might be when you look and see in the newspaper the victim. Life was lost at your hands. After Cain killed Abel. There's some things that happen, and I don't think that people understand the real struggle of what happens to a soul when it makes the decision to take what it couldn't give. Life. I think so many times when I was coming up as a boy, I used to watch old Coyote. How many times he would fall off the cliff, bounce, he might be broken up, get right back up, and run after that bird all over again. But in real life, when you take a life, it never comes back. I see Cain as he exhales, as he goes off into a distant stare, remembering how angry he was. And now as a man, he realizes that his anger was not with Abel, but his anger had come from so many other places, but always coming originally from himself. After Cain killed Abel, he realized that his brother was not the real enemy. And I know a lot of times we say, well, they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have shot that boy. They shouldn't have killed him. They shouldn't have shot that girl. They shouldn't have killed her. They shouldn't have stabbed her. People don't know is that was only the result of a deeper pain. That was only the result of something that was lost for a while. I look up in the eyes of Cain, and I hear him saying, back then I was so confused, I was hurt. I felt some kind of way. I knew I had presented my offering unto the Lord, but he had rejected it, and I didn't know how to handle and deal with that rejection. Didn't know how to deal with the fact that God had seen what I had given him and denied it. Couldn't deal with the dynamics of my brother, my younger brother being greater than me, because that's how my mind defined it. And sometimes our emotions and our fears and our insecurities and our weaknesses will define pictures to us that aren't really true. Sometimes what we've been trying to get and never received. And the frustration from that is it messes with how we see today and what's going on. And we evaluate things based upon our own biases and upon our own prejudices. And we make decisions and calls and shots based upon things that are not really true. They just feel that way. I see Cain in the spirit of the old man. He's not had a good life. Because he killed his brother. He tells me now, I remember the conversation with God. I remember that. I remember it as though it was yesterday. I remember. I see his eyes now watering up. He's beginning to tear up as he speaks to himself, but yet I am afforded the opportunity to see him in the spirit. I remember the feeling of sorrow and sadness and the anger. I don't know why I got so angry. I don't know why it is. I just fly off the cuff. I don't know what's wrong with me. Always edgy, always fussy. Can't take nothing. Hurting. Been hurting a long time. And then to see my younger brother heralded in my own mind as a hero, did something right, and I was the one that did something wrong. I couldn't, my mind kept telling me things. Kept telling me things like, he ain't gonna never let me live this down. I couldn't take it. I couldn't take that. I couldn't take it. So what I did was my mind came up with a plan. My pride came up with a plan. My selfishness came up with a plan. And when I saw him coming to me, I instantly put that plan in action. I set him up. And after you've killed your brother, your mind will never let you forget how you set him up. Your mind will never let you forget how you couldn't let it go, how you couldn't just forgive. He couldn't just value his life above all the other trivial things. And over again, Cain tells himself, but yet speaks to me and says, I remember telling him if I could take the day back, if I could have changed it, if I could undo what I did, I would have done it. Because I knew I had hate for him in my heart. Part of me wanted to argue that he was just a young kid, that he just didn't know any better. But in my mind, I graduated him to a maturity that he didn't even have. And I used it as a reason to kill him. if I could take it back. Abel, if I could take it back. I killed him. I pretended as though the setup was though it was an innocent stroll. I said, come on, let's take a walk together. We've done that before. And I represented myself as his friend. I represented myself as his loving brother. And all the while inside my mind, I was raging. Inside my spirit, I was burning. I was bubbling. I knew what I was going to do. And I saw in his face an innocence. I knew that he was just like the lamb that he had offered unto the Lord. I was about to kill him. And when it didn't, while he was unsuspecting, probably thinking good thoughts in his mind, the fury, my anger, I took it all out on him. I was already mad. I was mad at God. I was mad at my father. I was mad at my mother. I was mad at the world. I was mad. Now as an old man, I realized I really was just mad with myself. I did not want to accept the responsibility that I had made my bed hard. I didn't want to accept the responsibility that it was my choice. It was my decision. I was the one that didn't do right by God. I was the one that cut back and didn't give the ultimate and highest sacrifice to him. I made that choice. That I made him suffer. I killed my brother. I thought I was ridding myself of some kind of torture. I thought I was fixing my life. I thought I was making things better. I thought I was somehow scoring. I was fouling out. I was losing. I was ensuring that my life from that point after I killed my brother, I was ensuring that I would be tortured the rest of my life. I remember I heard his head crack. I saw him when he grabbed his head. I knew that I had damaged him greatly because I saw the blood. I saw the blood. And when I struck him, just briefly he looked into my eyes as if to say, but I don't understand. I don't understand what I did. Killed that little boy. And he had done me no wrong. And right then, as as I saw him laying there, and I saw his body moving for the last time. I saw the blood as it soaked away into the ground. That anger part of me that desired blood, the part of me that was longing for vengeance, felt some relief. But I did not know that that was temporary. I guess on the streets they would say, bam, I shot him, I got him, I killed him, I killed him. But nobody knows what happens after you kill your brother. They don't know about how you have to talk with God in your spirit, knowing that you have blood on your hands. They don't know that something changes in you when you take a life. It doesn't make you into a man. It makes you into a monster. It doesn't bring you the relief that you thought you were going to get, the vengeance that you hungered for. It only makes you thirsty. And you don't even realize that you're really thirsty because you want to be forgiven. Because you killed your brother. They don't know that after you kill your brother, a part of you has to become a vagabond, a wanderer. You have to become fearful. Because you know that the Bible says that whatever a man sows, that shall he also reap. They don't know that from this point on, you can never go back to point A again because you've gone too far. You've crossed the line. You've done that which you knew you shouldn't have done. Behind what was the value of it? They don't know that many times you're going to have to look in the mirror now and see the face of the boy, the teenager, the man, the old man, who knows that he has taken the life of someone else, that because of him, because of his anger, because of his pain, because of his grief, because of his sorrow, somebody will never say good morning again. And regardless of how much you despise that person or how angry you were at them or how much you feel like you were justified, there is still a part of you that says, the Bible says, thou shalt not kill. People don't know that's the reason why it is that you don't want to go to church. Why it is that you don't want to have anything to do with praying. Why it is that you don't want to have anything to do with God. It's because you know that you can't seem to forgive yourself and you don't feel God will forgive you. Because if you saw the headlines of your handiwork, you've heard the details in the community of people whispering and talking about who done it, who did it. You know that some eyes are looking your way and suspecting and believing that you pulled the trigger. You stuck him with a knife. You killed your brother. And even though you walk around as though you did nothing, no wrong, and even if you feel like on some level you were justified, there's a part of you that says, man, I was just dumb. Never should have been in that situation. I never should have allowed it to go that far. Nothing can justify. I killed my brother. And then many don't know how you really feel when you see the tears from your brother's mother's eyes. When you hear the screams coming from her heart. They don't know how you feel when you bump into his sister in Walmart. How you see his picture in the newspaper. Oh, you gotta put on a good look, bold face. I seem like you either didn't do it, that you was justified in doing it, but the realness of it is, it has just magnified the pain that you've always had for a long time. Cain, I see you, I see you. I see you, Cain. It's all your life now. Not a day has gone by where something didn't remind you of Abel. Had you known as a young man that this was going to haunt you, that it was going to follow you all your life, and it was going to be a heavy weight in your spirit, that it was going to cause you to be edgy, that it was going to cause you to accelerate your drinking and your usage of pills and drugs. Had you known that you was going to have to somehow use some kind of chemical to mediate your mind and to console your spirit and to dampen the effects, the sorrow that you feel for this moment, had you just known that you never would have killed your brother. I'm sorry, Mr. Preacher. I can't come to your church. Because I know I killed my brother. Ma'am, I just wanted to tell you, I'm sorry I killed your son. I'm sorry I killed your daughter. I was wrong. I was dumb. After you killed your brother, the shadows come to you. Don't expect anybody to be able to come along and cheer you up, because even on the days that you're supposed to be celebrating, you know somewhere on the inside of you, you killed your brother. And then when you start to have children and you look upon the face of your son, even in the midst of that great celebrated moment of life, something says, but you killed your brother. You can't even enjoy new life because you took a life. And now I see Cain. I see him. As he cries out the name all over again, he says, Abel. As though Abel is watching him, as though Abel is present, as though Abel now looks into his face and he says, Abel, I'm sorry. They were kids. was wrong. I was dumb. And he didn't tell me I wish somebody had stopped me. The times when I was on social media posing with weapons. Times I was with my posse pumping it up, trying to present myself as being strong and hard, trying to prove myself to people. I'm sorry, Abel, I was dumb. The act that I did said I don't love you. That's not the man that I am today. I've spent a whole lifetime building a city. I spent a lifetime working, trying to overcome the foolery of my youth. Trying to make amends. Abel. I'm sorry, Abel. And I wish I could just take your place. I don't even know why. I believe God should have just taken me. I took your life. He should have taken mine. My mama cried for you. My dad talked about you all the time. I felt unloved. I felt unacceptable. I had no home after that because I couldn't stay there. So I wandered around. I struggled in my spirit. I was pulled in my mind. Part of me wanted to justify it so that I could get some peace, but I knew I killed my brother. But I didn't hate you that much. I hated me. And I couldn't accept the pain of being me. I couldn't accept the fact that I had faults in my spirit and holes in my heart. I couldn't accept the fact that I was not complete. I was empty. I just took it out on you. I killed you. And I don't feel like a man should be forgiven when he takes his brother's life. because that which killed you killed me. Even as I broke you, I broke me. You died quickly. But I'm still dying every day. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for me. Because I don't deserve that. Because my name is Cain. I killed my brother. I caused my mama to cry. My daddy was never the same. I ruined our family. And there's a mark on me, though I felt marked all my life. Abel, I hope you're in a better place. And maybe you can talk to God. Tell him I was a kid. Trying to be a man, trying to be somebody I wasn't. See, I miss you too, honey. I miss you. It used to annoy me, but I miss you. I wish it just annoyed me some more, I guess. Now the Spirit leads me away from Cain. I see him there, an old man, beard etched in gray, deep wrinkles in his brow, tears in his eyes. And after all of these years, I hear his soul crying to me. Saying I killed my brother. I keep hearing him saying, Abel, Abel. miss you. I'm sorry. I love you. I was wrong. I'm sorry, Mama. I disappointed you. I'm sorry, Dad. It's not the man that you wanted me to be. And God, you were right and I was wrong. I didn't have that to do. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. Cain, listen. God still loves you. He can heal you. He will forgive you. He will save you. And I know you might be saying right now, but I killed my brother. There's some other Cains. You didn't kill anybody, you just hurt them. You tried to destroy their life, you wrecked them. You purposefully, intentionally maimed them. So I want to tell you, see, that's the beauty of God. Because all have sinned. All have fallen short of the glory of God. None of us are worthy. Don't let anybody fool you. We're all a mess. But His grace can look beyond our faults and see our needs. And He still has a wonderful plan for your life. One could argue that the great city of Enoch would not have been built were it not for Cain's struggle. God may have a city still left in you that He's ready to build, using the dirt and the sorrow from your life. Because the way that He works is He takes the lowly things and builds greatness. Cain, whoever you are, wherever you are, Cain, listen. Let this preacher, who ain't nobody, tell you. He can make it better if you let Him today. Thank you all for joining us on this day that the Lord has made. And regardless of what we see, and regardless of what has happened, this is the day that the Lord has made, and He has called us to rejoice and to be glad in it. So for whatever has happened in your life, and for whatever is going on, and whatever may happen, know this: God loves you. Until next time, love yourself, love Cain, And let's all remember, God has plans for us. God bless you. May He keep you.